Hi, this is Howie from epokervideo.com and welcome to another strategy poker video. Today we are going to be discussing Pot Limit Omaha High. I'm playing at full tilt poker right now. I just can play some 5 cent, 10 cent pot limit. Um, we're going to make this a fairly beginner's introductory video for players who maybe have never played the game or have only had limited experience. Omaha is a 5 card game, a 9 card game with 5 cards being used to make your best hand. You're going to be dealt 4 cards, and you must use 2 cards from your hand to make the best 5 card poker hand. Um, it's a very position strong game, meaning that being in late position or on the puck has a significant advantage over being in early position, more so than in a lot of other poker games. So we will just get started and we'll talk about some pre-flop hand selection. We're going to talk about playing aggressively and getting your money in as good as you can. Alright, we just got dealt in and we have our first hand. We have a suited ace. It's a double suited hand. It's kind of in the middle of the pack. And what we just did there was it was just called by the small blind who completed, and he checked toast on the flop. And almost every time when your head's up in an unraised pot and the first player checks to you, they're just giving up on the pot and they don't have anything. So starting hands, what you're looking for the most part is hands that are coordinated and play well together. Hands with all 4 cards that are working together can make many combinations of winners. Hands like double suited hands with 2 of one suit and 2 of the other. Hands with 4 cards that are all close together to make a straight, the higher the better. And hands with pairs with straight cards, or pairs with flush draw cards, or pairs with straight and flush draw cards. Hands like 9, 10, 10 jack, double suited, would be an example of a hand that has a lot of things working for it. Obviously, it can make some straights, it can make some flushes, and it can make some sets. And that's basically what you are looking for in pre-flop starting hand requirements. Obviously, pocket aces is a strong hand that can be played even if it doesn't have much else going for it, but it does increase in value significantly if it has a suited ace or if it has other cards that are working with the ace to make it playable. Here's an example of a reasonable hand. Again, we have a pair with 3 cards to a straight and also a suit, the 7-9 of diamonds. You generally want to avoid playing hands that are non-nut hands, as in non-nut flushes. And here, with a pot raise in front of us, we will call being in position. And this is pretty much the situation we're looking for, is to get multiple callers. So we did end up flopping middle set on a relatively dangerous board, obviously with 2 spades out there and a lot of straight draw possibilities. This is obviously in Omaha. There's not going to be nearly as much slow playing. Obviously, flopping the second nuts here is great, and we're just going to get it all in here and force flush draws and straight draws to pay. But there's not nearly as much slow playing in Omaha, so you can get into situations where if you're in position, okay, unfortunately we got a little bit unlucky there. Let's just bring that hand up again. We're against top 2 pair, and we had middle set, and he also had a gut shot. So I ended up hitting his gut shot on the turn, and then obviously filling up on the river. But we did get it in there as a reasonable favorite, probably 65% favorite. Okay, here's another hand here, definitely playable. If I'm the first one in, 6 max, I'm going to be much more likely to be raising it. Just putting pressure on the blinds, taking the lead, taking position. There's lots of good things that can happen. And here we flop just a flush draw, not much else. Get a lot of weird plays at these limits. The player min bet into us. We're just going to make a little bit of a raise. probably on some sort of a draw. We did pick up a gut shot here, but we want to keep the pressure on because if he is on a draw, we want to make sure that we can fire a river bet if it misses, and basically force him to fold. So we did go ahead and raise. This, although it looks fairly pretty, double suited, four cards, four straightish cards, out of position with such a small straightening cards. It's the kind of hand where you're going to make a lot more non-nut straights than you will nut straights. So in early position, I will go ahead and let that hand go. Again, as I said before, you want to avoid situations where you will flop second best hands. So if you play small flush cards and little straight cards, it's definitely conceivable for you to hit small flushes and small non-nut straights, and it will get you in a fair amount of trouble. So you should, especially initially as you're just starting out in this game, really focus on big cards and big suited cards and big suited aces and hands that if you hit the flop, you're going to be hitting them hard and you're going to be on nut draws almost every time. If you're just starting out in Omaha, a website with really great information is called weaktight.com, weaktight.com. It's a website that basically will take hand histories from various poker rooms and analyze them, and it allows you to view your equity at any point in the hand, so you can actually look back and say, yes, I was a favorite, yes, I was a dog, oh, I should have folded there, because in Omaha, there's so many draws and redraws. It's really tough, even for professional players, to get completely accurate information on their true odds, whether they were a favorite or a dog. So you can just take the hand history, plug it in, and then you can see definitively exactly what your numbers are. So here on the puck, we have a decent hand. As you can see, we have the ace suited, the ace jacks working together, pair of eights is working together. It's a fairly coordinated situation, and we just got one caller, and this time he bet 20 into us, and again is $4 behind. So we're just going to raise here. If he calls or gives us any more action, we're just going to shut down. But generally, when a player makes a weak lead like that, they are again weak for the most part. Here we're just going to limp in. We have a suited ace with the ace king and a 7-8. This is what I would consider a two-way hand, in that the 7-8 work together and the ace king work together, but the four cards in combination don't really work together. So it's not as strong a hand as, it's not nearly as strong a hand as a hand that all four cards are working together. So in this spot, I'd rather just attempt to take a cheap flop, and at these low stakes, you can definitely limp in a lot more. There's a lot less pre-flop raising. If you start getting into the higher stakes, players will punish the limpers by potting it pre-flop and really forcing the limpers to play marginal hands out of position. But I think when you're starting off and you're playing really micro stakes, you can definitely be limping in a lot of speculative hands and just trying to hit a monster flop and get paid off. So getting back to this weak tight, the hand that I played earlier where I had that second set, this again, the deuce, 5 are a little bit low and we're out of position even though we do have a suited ace, so we're going to let this go. I went ahead and loaded that hand into the weak tight. I'll try and bring it over to the screen so you can see there's weaktight.com, and I'll just slide it over here and you'll be able to see that on the flop of King 9-7, we had the middle set and we were a 73.8% favorite to win, and they were a 26% favorite to win. And obviously on the turn when they hit the 10, they became a 90% and we were 10, and then obviously they filled up on the river. But it just goes to show you, when we got the money in there on the flop, we were a significant favorite. So obviously the results were poor in that we lost the hand, but looking back and knowing that we got the money in good as a 3-to-1 favorite is a great result.